So the first thing I like to do when setting up the drums, the miking on the drums, is I have to strategize the placement of the mics. And sometimes it's very difficult to get some of these mics in certain places. I want to have all the mics basically facing one direction because of phase relationships between those drums. We have something special happening with these mics up here. This is an MS configuration, and I'll talk more about that later. But for the rest of these drum mics, I want them to all basically move in one direction. So you'll see the kick drum mic, which is a Sennheiser 421, is going directly into the kick. Now I'm going to try to access the toms and have the mic going in this direction, have this mic kind of tucked under here if I can get it, and going in that direction. And we're going to try to access the snare mic also going in that direction. The hat, we'll probably try to get it off to the edge here, and we're going to mic the ride and also having it in that same basic direction because I want all the mics to be facing the same direction. And that'll help with phase relationships. And good phase relationships instantly make the drum sound better.
Yep.
So okay, I have an assistant, Scott, who's going to help with this. And Scott,
yeah,
let's start with...
I'm going to come around here. Snare drum, right?
Yes, please.
I put the kick mics up there if you want to place them at all any differently.
Okay.
Feel free.
We've chosen, this is a Sennheiser 441 mic. It's similar to a Sennheiser 421, but I believe it's more directional. So I'm going to put that underneath the snare pointed straight up so it gets the underside of the snare. And then we're going to flip this one out of phase with the mic on the top of the snare. So go ahead and place that. I'll detail it later.
Okay.
But as much as stay conscious of the idea of moving, having all the mics facing one direction. So when you place that, maybe have it pointing kind of on an angle towards that direction.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Let's do the rest of the miking under mics. I like to do mics on both the top and the bottom of the toms and the snare.
Okay.
So there will be.
Why is that?
Because I find that having a mic on the top of the tom gives you the attack.
Okay.
And a mic on the bottom of the tom gives you the tone of the drum. And so if you've got two mics and you flip them out of phase,
Yep.
then you can start with the top mic and then add the bottom mic until you get the depth of the...
Out,
yeah, to fill it out, exactly. So he's started to put these mics into place, but there's one thing I want to set up here before we get too far, and that is I like to use this special miking technique with a hose.
Okay.
And I want to talk about that now. And we have this.
Yes.
All right, so I asked them to bring me a garden hose. And hopefully it's not full of water, but it's...
We drained it. It is from our backyard, though.
Okay, great. I like to use this hose as a filter for the drums. A lot of times drummers use the cymbals a lot. And so you try to use the room mics, but as soon as you start crashing on the crash ride, the room mics become really unusable, usually. Well, it's difficult. So I found that if you set up a hose and kind of drape it around the base of the kit, that it filters the sound, the sound of the cymbals. So you get more of just the honky kind of room sound, and then I'll put it through a compressor, and it sounds really cool.
How did you come up with that idea?
Well, it's a long story, but but I have a device called a Cooper Time Cube at my place. I have a studio and I have a bunch of old gear from the 70s, and this was a device. It was an early analog delay,
Okay.
and it has a head that's rack mounted, and then it's attached to a box. Inside the box is a hose. Basically, it has a mic on one end of the hose and a speaker on the other end. And you just run the sound through this hose, and it's a delay from one end to the other.
Got it.
So just having set that up by accident, there was a drum kit playing in the room, and I was listening to this device. I built my own Cooper Time Cube, basically.
Wow.
And I was listening to this device while a drum kit was playing in the room, and I noticed, geez, this is a great drum sound, and it was simple, and there's not a lot of cymbals in it. So I started using the hose for recording drum room.
So we have a 57.
Yeah, it's basically...
Just gaff tape to the end of the hose.
Yeah, it's a 57 gaff tape to the end. I know it's weird, but
It's awesome.
we'll take a listen to it, and then you'll tell me if it's weird or not. So Scott, will you help me with this hose?
Yes, you want to get it around the kit, right?
I want to put this side of it over on underneath that tom,
Okay.
and then we'll drape the rest of it. Yeah. And in fact, we'll just kind of, I don't know how much of the sound will come through the hose, but we'll just kind of drape it around here. All right, this is a very long hose. Jeez. It's more hose than we really need, but that's okay.
So you want to just leave the excess?
Yeah,
over here?
leave the excess over here.
Okay.
All right. All right, we have some gaffer tape there. Drew, can you? Thank you.
There you go.
All right, and not that it will really make any difference at all, but I'm going to put a piece of gaffer over the end.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Awesome.
All right, we're ready.
All right.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? We got the hi-hat mics. These are East German. They're basically the East German version of KM54. Is that
M300?
the Gefell
M300.
M300? Right. And what else have we chosen for this? The top of the snare, we're using an SM57. And Scott, I'd prefer to have that accessed from the front because I really want to get the movement of these mics. So can we get a longer stand
Yeah, I can grab
with
it
a
from-
boom
Yep.
so that we can access it and have it come from this direction? And this side is okay. All right. One thing I don't want to do is have mics pointing at each other
Okay. Why is that?
because the signals cancel each other out.
So it's always phase issues.
Phase issues, yeah. And then when the phase is conflicting between microphones, it makes your drum sound hollow. So if you have a drum kit that you just can't figure out why there's no low end in it, you might look at the phase relationships between those mics. I'm going to angle this bottom mic so that it's moving essentially in the same direction. And this ride is good. I'm going to actually bring this up. So we can face it like that.